On Thursday, the Senate had actually passed what they called historic bipartisan gun control, following the mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas, as well as the numerous mass shootings we've had since. Here we had 15 Republicans joining Democrats to approve the bill. So, of course, you know that there's nothing really in it that's going to be all that helpful. So let me give you some of the details there. This bill imposes tougher checks on young buyers and encourages states to remove guns from people that are considered a threat, your so-called red flag laws. It also includes background checks for buyers younger than 21, $15 billion in federal funds for mental health programs, and school security upgrades. So we're going to harden the schools, put them in the schools. We're going to harden them. We're going to turn it into a prison. That's what we're going to do. We're going to build a prison. All right. And they also funded states to encourage, but they don't have to, red flag laws. So Texas has already said, we're not going to do that. We're not interested in doing your red flag laws. We're going to put that towards, removing doors or stronger doors, whatever the hell Texas wants to do.
Door control. Yeah.
Door control. We need door control, not gun control. More doors. That's what we need.
Traps that catch you in a net, like a cartoon.
They also are closing the so-called boyfriend loophole by blocking gun sales to those convicted of abusing unmarried intimate partners. That's fine, but what if you've never been caught before?
Yeah.
As weak as these measures are, by the way, you already have right-wingers that are flipping out. They're losing their minds. I want to show you here video from Marjorie Greene fighting with a reporter from the UK. Take a look.
Congressman Taylor Greene, you talked earlier on about this being a sellout to Democrats who want to take away America's guns. Someone else talked about being left unarmed and defenseless. I mean, it sounds very much, maybe this is a British perspective, that you're scaremongering. I mean, no one is talking about taking your guns away or your rights away. I mean, what's wrong with the legislation that proposes millions of dollars in funding for mental health in communities, for stronger background checks and for greater school security? I mean, you're all speaking as if your guns are all about to be taken away from you.
I'll tell you right now that yes, they do want to take away our guns.
Doesn't this
and
bill,
no, the other part
isn't
about
this bill about
mental,
protecting schools though?
Yeah, protecting schools, of course. But this right here, this bill, which I'm sure you haven't read it, but we've read it. It is definitely all about funding gun control and red flag gun confiscation laws that will lead to taking away guns from people like veterans with PTSD, maybe Trump voters, because Democrats think that Trump voters are some kind of threat here in America.
They are.
Her confidently saying, I know you haven't read it. Her specifically saying that, like, is just, you didn't read it. You didn't read it. You know you're not even capable of reading most of the words in there. You most certainly did not sit down. You could not read a book that has more than 12 pages and it's got to have a lot of pictures. You weren't reading legislation. They don't even let you write that.
Oh, are you saying that this person
Peachtree dish
is not a genius? Does not know what she's talking about? I don't understand.
Tree dish? How could you even ever think that was correct? Where in the universe would that even make sense? Oh, she's so stupid.
But, you know, she's just trying to prevent everybody from flagrantly violating her rights. That's all. The rights of all gun owners. I mean,
the Gazpacho police are coming to take your guns away.
They really are. Yep. That's what she thinks. That's what she thinks. But again, getting to the point, you notice how she does. Again, she's called out for fear mongering and then goes to start fear mongering.
Yeah.
Like, what if they take it from Trump supporters, huh? I mean, they're a threat. Yeah, well, you know what? You're right. Yeah, they actually are a threat. You know, remember the whole January 6th thing where you had a bunch of Trump supporters that went and attacked the Capitol building? Do you remember that whole thing? Did it just, or did it slip your very, very small, short memory? Like, or did it just get kicked out with everything else, like facts and logic and the ability to tie your own shoes.
Yeah. And her talking about veterans with PTSD, like, first of all, unless they've committed a crime, no, they're not going to come up on these red flag laws. But also, veterans with PTSD are not being taken care of by our federal government because of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and because of her party. And they have a very high rate of suicidality, and having a gun massively increases the success of a suicide attempt. So she's also, diminishing the funding for mental health that is in this bill, something that conservatives pretended to give a shit about for 6 seconds after Uvalde when they were trying to make it about anything other than guns. You don't want that veteran with PTSD to, have a successful life, to be able to live in the community and to receive the treatment that they need, despite the fact that this country promised those veterans that they would take care of them when they came, when they got out, and they have failed to live up to that promise. I mean, we deport veterans. We recruit undocumented people to our military, tell them if they serve 4 years, then we'll give them their citizenship, and then deport them. This is a disgusting country that hasn't for 1 second given a crap about its veterans. So using them as like a shield in to your shitty opinions about a bill that you certainly did not read is just grotesque.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Again, and they use all of these different excuses to try to not do anything. You mentioned, mental health. Oh, we got to do something about mental health. We really care so much about mental health. Okay, well, fund it. No, fuck you. That's their answer. Fuck off. We actually don't care about this, but we are going to pretend that we care about this. And the other things that they do is like, oh, we actually care about children. We care about life so much. We're going to give guns to everybody. We also care so much about life that we're very, very pro death penalty and are willing to put women to death for having a miscarriage in some places. I mean, this is what they're doing. They don't actually care about the things that they say. Their only concern is to protect themselves and the gun lobby that gives them money. And of course, to appease their insane voters.
Yeah.
I've got one more video here too.
I hoped you did, because I knew something else happened in this back and forth, and I was hoping you'd have the clip.
Oh yeah. Here's Marjorie Greene telling this person to go back to their country.
You may not understand simply because you're not an American, but we fully understand because we're proud American gun owners, and it's our job to defend the Second Amendment.
But I understand that we don't have guns in the UK, that is true, but we don't have mass shootings either. Children aren't scared to go to school.
You have mass stabbings, lady. You have all kinds of murder.
Nothing like the same rates here.
Well, you can go back to your country and worry about your no guns.
That's very kind of you.
We like ours here.
Wow.
You can go back to your own country with your no guns because we like them here. No, we don't. I mean, yes, we do have a gun culture in this country, but guess what? Even people who have guns think that these measures are totally fine. There's a majority that agrees with all these different gun control measures, and Republicans don't shoot them. Vast majority.
Huge, like 85% of gun owners support background checks and red flag laws. A huge percent of gun owners and the rest of the population, massive margins, support these things. The only ones who don't, and it's not even like the conservative politicians, I don't think, Marjorie Taylor Greene certainly does, but most of them don't care. They just care about making sure that they're getting those sweet NRA checks. But but her bringing up mass stabbings, if you even just think about that for 1 second, and you
impossible
recognize how ridiculous that is. Like, someone with a knife is not going to get at nearly as far as someone with a gun. You can't stab someone from a distance. Unless you're like throwing a chainsaw like American Psycho style down the staircase.
Hold on. Actually, you know what? I saw this meme was pretty funny about that. The bow and arrow was invented to stab people from a distance.
Do they have technically? They have a mass bow and arrow.
Bowings, yeah.
Mass bowings.
She's
she's a very unserious person, and it's like it's almost funny to watch like how little she has like recognition of her just insane things that she says. She should be embarrassed, but I just don't think she's even capable of comprehending the fact that she is an embarrassing person.
Yeah, and by the way, if guns, and it seems like we always, come back to this argument, where they're like, well, you have stabbings, or you have people that, with bats and all that stuff. Okay, well, if those things were more dangerous, wouldn't you think that we would have more of that now instead of guns? Or it could be the guns that are more dangerous in the wrong hands. Weird.
I mean, it's statistically, they're just not more dangerous. I mean, like, they'll say, oh, what's next? Are we going to get screwdriver control, hammer control? Like, no, that's not next. First of all, you can't just, as any person, go buy a hammer from the store. Yeah, I've had my license checked. I've had my ID checked while buying a hammer. I got my ID checked buying fucking sparklers at the grocery store for 4th of July. Okay? Yeah, there is more regulation concerning me buying sparklers than there are for people purchasing guns at gun shows. Like, it's just so frustrating. All of this is frustrating. Children are being mowed down and they don't care.
They don't care. And that's it at the end of the day. Anything that actually solves problems, they don't care, and they will invent problems. They will make things up in order to, push their own just incredibly Christo-fascist agenda onto the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.